Hostess of 19 describes scary event where guest decades older asked her, "Are you a prostitute?" A still from the FT's undercover footage of the President's Club event. Photograph, FT, BBC. At around 8 p.m. last Thursday, about 130 young women walked into the ballroom of the opulent Dorchester Hotel in Park Lane, London. To the tune of Power by the British girl band Little Mix, each of these hostesses, clad in a short, tight black skirt and high heels, made their way to one of 24 tables, where about 360 men had squeezed into their tuxedos and were awaiting the arrival of dinner. On the menu that night was Scottish smoked salmon, 34-day aged Angus beef fillet and a variation on a Black Forest Gâteau, all of which was followed by some groping, lewd comments and requests for the women to join diners in their hotel bedrooms. Welcome to the President's Club charity dinner, an event that has raised more than £20 million during its 33-year history but has largely been a closely guarded affair. At least it was until this year's event, where two of the hostesses happened to be undercover reporters from the Financial Times. Among the clutch of bankers, property tycoons, entrepreneurs and celebrities, the journalists reported being sexually harassed themselves and witnessing much more, although the small number of attendees who are willing to talk publicly expressed their surprise at the reports. Still, somebody did see much of this coming. The brochure for the dinner warned male guests against harassment and unwanted conduct, while upon arrival the hostesses were handed a 5-page non-disclosure agreement to sign, although according to the FT reporters they were not given a chance to read its contents or take a copy with them after signing. Caroline Dandridge, the founder of the Artista agency that provided the hostesses for the evening, also gave a few clues during her pre-dinner pep talk about what her employees could expect. Dandridge told her staff that the men might try to get the women pissed, and just before they were sent out into the ballroom they were told that if any of the guests became too annoying, the hostesses should alert the boss. Or, to put it in the words of one of the guests, "Down that glass, rip off your knickers and dance on that table." The evening was hosted by the television personality and author David Walliams for the third year running, with the auction hosted by Johnny Gould, the presenter of Channel 5's baseball coverage and a near-ubiquitous presence at London charity fundraising dinners. "Welcome to the most un-PC event of the year," Gould bellowed. The lots included a night at the Windmill Strip Club in Soho, which is facing closure over serious breaches of its licensing conditions after concerns the dancers regularly broke the no-touching rules. There was also a course of plastic surgery, along with the tagline, "Add spice to your wife." One 19-year-old hostess recounted to the FT a conversation with a guest nearing his 70s, who asked her if she was a prostitute. She was not. "I've never done this before, and I'm never doing it again," she said. "It's fucking scary." Aside from the men, also on the hostesses' backs that evening was the Artista enforcement team, which consists of suited men and women circling the ballroom and cajoling less willing hostesses to interact with the diners. Outside the women's toilets a monitoring system was in place to ensure that the young women didn't spend too long away from the tables. A security guard at the door was on hand, keeping time. It was claimed the women were paid £175 plus a taxi home, for a 6-hour shift, although that did not include any time spent at the event's after-party. Dandridge told the FT, "This is a really important charity fundraising event that has been running for 33 years and raises huge amounts of money for disadvantaged and underprivileged children's charities. There is a code of conduct that we follow. I am not aware of any reports of sexual harassment, and with the caliber of guest, I would be astonished." The Dorchester told the FT that it had a zero-tolerance policy regarding harassment of guests or employees. "We are unaware of any allegations, and should we be contacted, we will work with the relevant authorities as necessary," it said. Before it announced this year's event was to be the last, the President's Club said, "The organizers are appalled by the allegations of bad behavior at the event asserted by the Financial Times reporters. Such behavior is totally unacceptable. The allegations will be investigated fully and promptly and appropriate action taken."